Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dovston, and it is wonderful to have you here with me for our weekly I Ching overview for the 9th of October, 2023. If you are new to the channel and perhaps this is your first weekly episode, welcome. It's wonderful to work with the I Ching with you week by week. And of course, if you're returning, thank you so much for your support and for being here with me and the amazing comments that you leave and your support and energy. Just fantastic. Thank you so much. Right, before we look at the week ahead, let's of course always recap, because that really helps us to build a personal experience with the I Ching as we go through week by week. Sometimes I find it's only in sitting and reflecting back on the previous week where I think, oh my goodness, yes, this hexagram was all over the place. Like I had it everywhere. Okay. And so that reflection is really important, to stop and say, what did I learn? What did that mean for me? How did I work with the flows of change? And was I the superior person or the master in these moments as I worked with the I Ching flows? So last week, our recap. We had a locked hexagram. We had hexagram 44, coming to meet or encounters or dangerous liaisons. Okay, I gave you two very different perspectives on how this hexagram can be worked with and interpreted. And I'd love to hear from you. What came up for you? Which one? Did you have both, perhaps? How did you work with this idea of nipping the negativity in the bud, of realizing that something small and insignificant can cause havoc later if left there? And also how there might have been an unexpected or interesting encounter that shook up the energy for you and just kind of reinvigorated your mind and brought energy that was not there forever, but reconnected you with your creative flow. So if there is something that came up for you, please do share a comment. All right, so this week, no locked hexagram. We have one changing line. So let's get into it. Before I get into the main hexagram, I want to remind you that the I Ching 101 series has a new episode that recently came online, how to interpret the I Ching. This is a very difficult question to deal with in a simple way. It takes years and years and years of work to develop some kind of ability to thread the story together, to work symbolically, to weave the story together. And I shared a particular technique with you. So I encourage you to go watch it if you haven't yet done. I'm going to use it in today's episode, which is using the journey of storytelling to look at how we interpret and work with these hexagrams. So our first hexagram, our main situation, right, for this week is hexagram 27, Nourishment. This hexagram is the open mouth. Okay, you can see the top jaw and the bottom jaw, and the open mouth. This is the little bird or little birds in the nest going, okay, and these mouths going out. Okay, that is the best way we can create a visual. These hungry mouths, desperate to be fed. Oh, please, mommy bird. Okay, so our mouths are open. Okay, we are hungry for something. And this hexagram makes us reflect, creates the opportunity for us to reflect on what we are actually putting in, okay, and what is working? Okay, what are we missing? Where do we feel like we are hungry and starving? Where in our consciousness, in our lives, in our teams, in our businesses, is the bird left unfed? Okay. And the hexagram really directs our attention to getting what we need. Now, on one level, cash and income and money might be one method, right? Is one way of us feeling starved. We can't do things. We're stuck, we're frustrated. Okay, so if you feel like that around finance, that might be your hot button on this issue this week. For someone else, it might be emotional nourishment, right? So our emotions are, we're not feeling loved and cuddled and cared for, and perhaps we're in an environment that's emotionally sterile. Mental stimulation. Okay, so how is our mind developing? Is our mind popping open and amazing ideas coming and amazing thoughts flowing? And our learning expanding? So how's our mind being nourished? Okay, then our bodies. This is no particular order, by the way. Our bodies, right? How are we feeding our bodies? Are we drinking delicious water and beautiful food, taking care of our bodies and having good sleep and just loving and nourishing our bodies? And then our spirit. How do we nourish our spirit? So where are we starving? Where are we hungry? all right, this week is going to be an opportunity for us to have some wonderful insights, because no one can take responsibility for where we are fed and how we are fed than we are. Okay, no one can do that. Only we are responsible for finding a way to feed ourselves at whatever level we need it. Now, that's not all. This hexagram also says it's not just about what goes in, it's about what goes out. And a brilliant saying I once heard is, maybe we should be more concerned about what comes out our mouth than what goes in. So what comes out our mouth are the things, the words, the deeds, the presence we have with other people that brings nourishment to others. So there's twofold. What goes in, okay, and what goes out. What are the words that are coming out of our mouth? Are they barbs? Are they daggers? Are they syrupy, sweet nothings? What is coming out? Okay. How do we use our words and our encouragement and our accountability to create nourishment for other people around us? This is going to be our focus for this week. Our main situation. We're in a situation. Remember that video overview talking about how to structure the story. Our main situation, we're in a situation where somewhere we are hungry and we have to be the superior person. Okay, we have to find a way of caring for what we put in, making sure we go and get what we need, and taking care of what we give to others as nourishment, improving the quality of the nourishment that comes out the mouth, which is also through our deeds, okay, through our thoughts. So our changing line, we have just one, okay? It's in the 4th position. And this changing line is just over the chasm, okay? So we're in position 3, which we often have had of late, where we still have to cross. Here, it's just on the other side. And things are shaken up, okay? The source of nourishment, where it's coming from and how it works, okay, things are shaken up. And in that shaking up, what we have to do is we have to tap into our inner tiger, okay? So that tiger that we follow in Hexagram 10, right? That tiger, we are the tiger. We tap into our tigress, tiger energy, and we fiercely hunt down the things that we need, okay? The people, the resources, the helpers who will help us. And we're doing this not to do it for what we put into our bodies, but we're doing it now. We're elevated. We're over the chasm. We're doing it to serve others. And if we are the tiger, the tigress, hunting down the things that we need for the projects we're doing to help other people, for the causes that are important, for a way of lifting other people up around us, remember what comes out the mouth? The energy can flow and support us. So we are being fierce tigers this week as we hunt down what we need. We accept as we work with this hexagram that things are shaken up, that the energy is disturbed, things are not normal, okay, things are flowing in an unexpected direction. And remember, the water has turned the other way around the toilet bowl, okay, that kind of idea. Things are disturbed, okay, things are shaken up, but we approach it by being fierce and going and hunting down what we need and bringing it home, because we're doing it to help other people, not just for ourselves. So an interesting changing line, lots of energy packed into it. We are fierce and fearless this week. Okay, so our second hexagram, often called the outcome hexagram, the relating hexagram, using that story structure I spoke about in the I Ching 101 episode, we can talk about the transformation victory that awaits us. Okay, now this is very interesting because it is hexagram 21 biting through. This hexagram, if you look, okay, you can see hexagram 27, right? There's a jaw at the top and a jaw at the bottom. An open mouth, but something is in the mouth. Okay, there's a piece of old leather. Okay, there's an old sneaker stuck in there. There's an old piece of wood. There's something jammed in there that's preventing the jaws from closing. So in a way, it's so weird because hexagram 27 is about nourishment and taking in. And this hexagram is about biting through vigorously, through the obstacles, preventing nourishment. And we have this tigress energy, fiercely hunt down the things that we need. And here we have hexagram 21 biting through. This hexagram says the way that we resolve this obstacle is we vigorously bite through it. Okay, we don't negotiate. don't delay. We just tackle the problem head on, bite through it. Tigress, bite through it, cut through that old piece of leather that's blocking the way, and the flow of nourishment can come. So the victory is biting through the obstacle. That is what our focus is. We have a lot of internal work around nourishment and the issue of nourishment to focus on this week. And we have the victory, the promised victory, that if we do the work of the tiger and the tigress, we can vigorously bite through the obstacle. It takes energy and it takes ferocity of the tiger to do that. But by doing that, the victory is releasing the obstacles that's preventing that flow. Two parts of a story that are all tied up this week as we work with the I Ching to understand ourselves in a deeper sense, in working with our lives, with people around us, in creating more meaning in our workplaces. And I wish that this week you bite through and you tiger it through, right? And you work through the problem, that your particular thing that's making you hungry, that's preventing you from being fed, that you take responsibility for it and you bite through it and you get it done and you move forward. And I'll be there with you, biting through whatever comes my way as I work through it with you. So if you liked this episode, please give us a thumbs up. It really makes a difference. And of course, share it if somebody around you is needing some support at this time. Subscribe and follow if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you on the socials. Other than that, I will see you at our next weekly overview around the corner.